What? You want me to apologize? Yeah, I'm sorry I can't stop making crossbows. Again. You know what? Come here, let me show you something. Would you look at that? Can you look at that? Now, you tell me, can you reasonably expect my 0.02% Neanderthal DNA to look outside at that and not course correct my every single bodily molecule to hunting megafauna? You're being unreasonable, not me. Kidding, guy, I'm just joking. Enough Paleolithic gaslighting. For real though, it's worth it. You guys have always told me, oh Eli, we don't care what you're doing as long as you enjoy it. We'll be here to watch it. Well, maybe I should have got that in writing. Because putting it mildly, these slingbows at the moment really unga my bungas. Can you just watch something for a second? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Watch this action. I've been hard at work, Wellas, as you maybe could see. Look, I promise we're gonna do something different very soon, probably the next video. But can you just share in my joy for a second? I also did a crossbow version of it, that's for later. Let me just show you guys a little bit of what I've been up to for the last couple of weeks. Here you go, hope you like it. If you would have asked me, hey, how many data broker websites do you think your personal private information is on right now at this moment? I would have said, I don't know, 8 or 10. I just signed up for Incogni and they just removed my personal information from 64 data broker websites. And there's 94 pending right now. And I'm out here wondering why I get probably 1 or 2 spam calls per day. I don't know, it's got me longing for the days where good honest criminals would just break right into your house and physically take your stuff and go sell it to the highest bidder. Because at least then you could break in, invite them to church, you know? It's literally the full-time job of these people to make a profile of you, your financial information, your health history, your criminal record, your home address, your phone number, your email, how many kids they have, you know, creepy stuff. And once they got this profile together, they sell it. And not even just to good wholesome mega corporations for perfectly innocent advertising purposes, but scammers too, can you believe it? But the good news is they actually have to take your information down if you contact them directly and tell them to. The bad news to go with the good news, there's thousands of them. It would be your new full-time job to try to find them all. But the good news to go with that bad news that went with the good news is that you actually don't have to worry about any of this anymore. As long as you have Incogni. If you don't have Incogni, you have to worry about all of this. Incogni is a service where you outsource your right to tell data brokers to take your information down, and literally within minutes, look, I'm up to 88. My info's been taken off of 88 data broker websites just since I started filming this. Pretty good feeling. Oh, and looky here, wouldn't you know, if you use my code /alpha, you'll get 60% off an annual plan. That's an entire year of Incogni constantly and continually seeking out data brokers to take your information off the website. Pretty darn good deal if you ask me. Thank you so much, Incogni, for sponsoring the video. Let's get back to it. I've kind of done so much stuff over the last month, I barely even know where to start. I guess a good place would be thank you for the recommendations for how to improve the Slingbow. I left you guys on a little baby bit of a cliffhanger talking about I've got some ideas for how to improve the Slingbow, and wouldn't you know it, 10,000 people all at the exact same time have the exact same idea for how to improve it, and for some reason they all have to leave a comment. You know how you did 2 pulleys and it made it faster? What if you did more pulleys? I got this awesome idea. What if you did 2 pulleys up here and then 2 pulleys down? What if you did 4 pulleys up here, 4 pulleys? Guys, I do have some new subscribers recently, so I'm not gonna put the blame totally on you guys. But when I tell you I been did it, I'm telling you I been done did it. I know where this experiment ends. Look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So many dang pulleys, a block and tackle on both sides basically. And the answer is it goes a little over 300 feet per second. Pretty cool, pretty good. I don't want to just do this again, but with rubber, okay? Thank you for the recommendations, but I'm going my own way, no MGTOW. And you know what? The principle's not even all that much different. Still pretty much, instead of all the acceleration coming from these rubbers being stretched, not only are the pulleys being pulled forward, but the bowstring itself is on rubbers, so the bowstring is being yanked through the pulleys as the pulleys are being pulled up. Makes for a really pretty cool looking little machine. And with the super simple addition of these little rubbers right here, it adds what was it? Little over 40 feet per second. This thing's slinging arrows at 232 feet per second. It's pretty exciting. And I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't even really shoot bows. I'm a strong-ish type guy, but when it comes to very specifically this motion, I just didn't have all that much strength, which is why this sling bow is only about 45 pounds of draw weight. And just with that, I'm slinging 232 feet per second. I'm getting stronger, and it's happening pretty quick. I'm getting those newbie gains. If I can go from these 1/2-inch rubbers to some 5/8, and I already have some 5/8 rubber, I'm definitely thinking I could probably break the 260 mark, especially with additional optimization. I don't know, I'm really excited about the way that this is turning out. This is probably one of the most successful things that I've made. Definitely recently, probably ever. Just feeling like I really created something. It's been really cool. So if you haven't noticed by this point, I did end up switching over to the U-groove bearings. If you remember in the last video, I was using those low friction rings. They're just made of aluminum. I remember thinking that maybe the low friction ring is going to be faster than the bearings because they weigh a little bit less, but I don't know. It was just a silly idea that I had. They're only like a gram lighter. Switching over to the roller bearings, it was just absolutely night and day. Not only with the actual speed that it's firing at, but how easy it is to draw it back. So nice and smooth. So I think I can conclusively say the low friction rings, no thank you. You might notice that this is just very busy. There's a lot going on down here. And if you looked any closer, you'd see there's a whole lot of spatter. There's a lot of grind marks because I was just doing a whole lot of experimenting down here with different lengths of the prongs of the fork, different heights for the brace. I did probably 3 or 4 iterations of that. And right now I have it flush with the frame, but I don't think I'm gonna stick with that. I think I do have to bring it back out to about 2 inches. Because you can see when I draw it out, naturally the knock kind of wants to stop like 2 or 3 inches above the frame. So if I extended that brace and the frame was about right here, it would be much more in line with the whisker biscuit and the frame. And I think it would eliminate this kind of little kick out problem that I have sometimes. You can see the fletchings kick out occasionally and just, you know, strikes the target kind of wonky. Optimizations like that is kind of what I'm talking about. Just many teeny tiny little tweaks, just adding a foot per second here, little one there. I feel like a good ultimate goal would be eventually, let's be realistic, maybe not 300, 280. How about 280 feet per second? From speargun rubber, that would be pretty cool. I think that's gonna be my goal. Where am I? So we got the alignment, we've got the brace height, we've got me eventually moving up to the thicker rubber. What am I missing? Oh, I've had more than a few close calls with this whisker biscuit. The draw length is, I would say, probably 4 inches in front of what it should be. Because I am getting my full, what is this, 28-inch draw. But you can see my fist is maybe 4 inches in front of where it should be. Ideally, I would like to be able to bring it all the way back, get it to my cheekbone. But like I said, some close calls. The arrow is just about to slip out of a whisker biscuit, and if I draw it all the way back, it absolutely slips out. So then why do I got this thing right here? Why don't I just move the whisker biscuit closer? Because I don't want the fletchings sitting inside the whisker biscuit before I draw. I need this much space for the fletchings to be able to sit inside this area right here. And I can't just move this whole assembly a few inches back because, as you can see from the drawing footage, I need every single bit of this string length to make the full draw. If I go any shorter with the string, then the rubber here ends up bumping into the pulley. So my solution that I have in mind, I'm actually going to cut the handle off and move it to here. And then this is going to be a bit of a task, but it has to be done. I'm going to cut the whole rear part of the frame and move it forward, but then extend the forks so that I don't lose any string length. And yes, I do need to do that. I can't just move the grip forward and leave the wrist brace where it is, because this part of the frame being able to tuck into the crook of the elbow is really pretty important for me, being able to reach forward and hook my draw assist into the D loop. If I were to just move the grip forward and leave the brace where it is, see how awkward that is? Having to reach forward like this every single time I want to draw, versus just how nice and casual and cool it is when I have the ability to bend my elbow. So yeah, that's my progress so far. I am super stoked on this thing, and those are the improvements that I plan on making in the near future. And hey, might I say, the oregano paint job, I think I've done a good thing. So that is the Slingbow. Hope you guys like it. On to the Crossbow version. There's not that much to say about it. You can see the function of it is really the exact same. The only difference is all the rubbers doubled up. We got a full loop on the bottom and 2 full loops on the front, versus the single strand on the bottom and the 1 loop on the top with the Slingbow. So with the Slingbow, with all the pressure of trying to draw it back as hard as you can, well, as hard as I can, it's hard to get an appreciation for how smooth the firing action is, but I noticed it immediately when firing the Crossbow version. You can see in my reaction.
Hey, that was actually kind of smooth though.
Why was that like kind of smooth?
It's kind of nice. Holy smoke.
Literally buried it halfway. That's kind of nuts. Oh my gosh, that just feels so good. I did not think I was gonna like this much. Even with the light bands, sunk it about halfway. I was honestly kind of blown away with just how really nice it feels. There's almost no kick to it, but what really blew me away was that there's no like jarring vibration like there is with really high-powered crossbows. Not that it's like a really huge deal, but when you go from that to shooting a crossbow that has like no vibration, it's just like a little flavor note that really elevates the experience to the next level. Wow, I put that pretty well. I just kind of impressed myself a little bit. Well, let me get back to this so I can say something dumb. I gotta preserve my image. You may recognize that the stock is the old stock that I made for that other pulley crossbow. The one I ended up having to ditch because it was too long and there wasn't enough space in between the two prods. Well, I got to upcycle it, which is really pretty cool. I just made this new frame out of this 3/4 inch, 16th inch wall square tubing. That's what the Slingbow is made of too. And I don't know, maybe I've just been in the monkey house for too long, but I'm feeling like I'm maybe getting a little better at just kind of making stuff look good. It's very sleek. You almost want to throw it. So a pretty good chunk of the last video was about the fact that draw weight doesn't necessarily equal string speed, and it's pretty well demonstrated with this crossbow. While I did double up the rubber, theoretically doubling the draw weight, I only went from 232 feet per second to 266. Now there's a variety of factors that go into that. One of those factors is the fact that this has a 19-inch power stroke versus the 28-inch draw of the Slingbow. That is a lot more time for the rubber to accelerate the projectile. Also the fact that when it comes to the Slingbow, I'm drawing it back and firing it within like a couple of seconds. With the crossbow, you're drawing it back and then you're doing all sorts of stuff, you know, getting the bolt in there, you're setting up to shoot. I'm setting up the camera and everything. I'm saying prayers, hoping that things don't, you know, snap and slap my eyeball out of my head. And all that time, the rubber is cooling down. If you guys have ever seen a video from Jorg Sprov, you know that rubber stores its energy thermally. When you draw that rubber out, it actually heats up. And if you fire it quickly, you get the maximum speed out of it. But if you draw it out and you let it cool down, it actually dramatically decreases the speed that it can contract at. All that being said, if you're gonna make a crossbow that's powered by rubber of some kind, the speargun rubber is probably gonna be the one that you go with. The flat bands are gonna lose way more energy to heat loss than the speargun rubbers are. I mean, if you think about it, what are the speargun rubbers actually made for? You draw them back like a crossbow and you jump in the friggin' ocean. If anything's gonna cool off the rubber, I think probably swimming around in the ocean is gonna do that. And yet they fire at a pretty decent speed. I think the speargun rubber is probably the best option for crossbows as long as you have the some kind of mechanical advantage set up to get a higher speed, because the speargun rubbers are just not as fast as flat bands. So I had my fun doubling up the rubber, but as is very customary with ZNA Productions, I kind of have to take it way too far. So let's see what we can do. So here's the final boss of the day. 11.5 inches, 5/16 thick. Even the veins are steel, 1/8 inch. This thing is 207 grams. That's just under 3,200 grains. I know you're probably thinking you might need a little more power to shove something like that. You can go ahead and let me worry about that. And trust me, I will be worrying. What do you say we jump from this 1/2 inch rubber to some 3/4 inch? Oof. All right, the fewer times I can fire this, the better. So I'm gonna shoot this one time at some 3/4 inch plywood over there, and then I'm gonna put a steel sheet over it and see what that does, if anything. Nice. There we go, baby. I think I got the slow-mo cam, but I still don't know if I caught it on this one here. Oh yeah. All right, here's the final shot. The other really pretty scary thing about drawing this crossbow is I have to remain so conscious of keeping downward pressure with my foot, because you can see if that stirrup slips off my foot, I'm having teeth for dinner. I didn't get it. Whew. That is so hard. Man. You see what I'm talking about though, and there is a moment where you kind of rock back a little bit. I'll be honest guys, I don't super enjoy shooting crossbows that are this powerful. Ones that I made. I mean, sure, something like this made by actual engineers who know what they're doing, why not? Me in my garage though, I just... Things you do to feed your family. Why is it not engaging? I swear I'm hitting it. Yep, we're done. Case in point though, I guess. I don't even know how that happens. This spring just got mangled. You see how it's supposed to work? Yep. Now when you fire a really heavy bolt, people start asking about jewels. I have not concerned myself with any form of jewels ever since I proposed to my wife. But you know, just for you guys, I went the extra mile. Did all the little calculations. This 207 gram bolt going 150 feet per second comes out to 215 joules. I hope that's cool. I don't know. I don't really know what that means. Yeah, that's the joules. Bro, I'm getting cold and tired. Anyways, I think I'm almost done, so that's good. I think I am done. Huh. So, very exciting. Hope you like the builds. Hope you appreciate the jewels. New videos coming real soon. I think I'm going to not build 2 entire builds for future videos so that I don't have to upload once a month. But I just didn't want to do a Slingbow and then an almost identical crossbow for 2 separate videos. So yeah, new, very novel, very interesting videos coming real soon. Hope you guys liked it. That's all I got for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.